The purpose of every religion has been to bring man closer to God and to establish human values. Let us look at what Islam really represents. The meaning of the word Islam itself means peace, love, and security. Thus, if anybody portrays Islam as an extreme and violent religion filled with teachings of bloodshed, then such a portrayal has no link with the real Islam. From cover to cover, the Holy Quran teaches love, affection, peace, reconciliation, and the spirit of sacrifice. And the Ahmadiyya Muslim community propagates this very message.
यहाँ से हजूर अनवर अय्यदहुल्लाह ताला बिन अजीज.
From here, Hazur left for Mahdiabad at 6:15. In near Hamburg, land was purchased for Mahdiabad. This is in the north of Hamburg. When Hazur arrived in Mahdiabad, members of the Jamaat welcomed Hazur.
इसके बाद नई मस्जिद के संग बुनियाद.
After this, the opening of the mosque was followed by an opening speech. After short addresses by Amir Sahib and the local minister, Hazur delivered an address. There is a common misconception that Islam is an extremist religion. By seeing the example of the Ahmadis, by seeing the example of the mosques, and by seeing the actions of those who come to worship in the mosque, and by listening to the message which expands as a result of the mosque being built, then I hope, inshallah, here the introduction of Jamaat will expand and increase, and new routes of tabligh will open up. This is what the promised Messiah, peace be upon him, has said, that if you want to spread the message of Islam, then in an area where you want to do that, build a mosque. When you build a mosque, new opens of tabligh will open up, new routes of tabligh will open. After this, there was a program for the laying of the foundation stone of the mosque. Hazur laid down the first stone of the construction or the foundation stone of the mosque. Hazrat Begum Sahiba also laid down a foundation stone, and different representatives also laid down foundation stones. After this, Hazur Anwar went to the other side of Mahdiabad to visit the area. After the function in Mahdiabad and also the prayers, Hazur went back to his residence in Hamburg. 15 June 2011 at approximately 10 o'clock, the delegation of Hazur went from Hamburg to Kosovo. After the afternoon, at approximately 1:30, the delegation of Hazur reached Masjid Mahmud Castle. At 2:30, the members of the Jamaat who are present there, they behind Hazur offered the Zohar and Asr prayers. Hazur spent some short amount of time with the members of the Jamaat, and then Hazur's delegation left from Kassel to Bet Sabu, Frankfurt. Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen Khalifah al-Masih V, may Allah strengthen his hand. His delegation at approximately 4:45 arrived at Bet Sabu in Frankfurt, Germany. The members of the Jamaat welcomed Hazur by raising slogans. Hazur waved his hand and said Assalamu alaikum in a loud voice, and then he returned to his residence. On 17th June 2011 at 1:30, Hazur left his residence and he went to Gross-Grow to lead the Friday prayers. In Gross-Grow, a sports hall was acquired for the purpose of this Friday sermon. After the Friday prayers and also the Asr prayers, Hazur then returned to his residence. In the evening, in the Mosque Noor, the new guest house of Lajna Imala, Sarai Nusrat Jahan, Hazur officially inaugurated it. After this, Hazur inspected this new Lajna guest house, and after the inspection, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, and also Begum Sahiba in the courtyard laid down some tree. Then inside the hall, a function was held on behalf of Lajna Imalla. After an introductory speech by Sadr Lajna Germany, Hazur also delivered an address. After this, Hazur left from Bet Sabu to go to Bet Nur, and then after the namaz in the evening, Hazur then once again returned to his residence. On 18th June 2011, on this day, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, in the afternoon left for Ginsheim. There, another mosque of Jamaat Ahmadiyya Germany, Beitul Ghafur, there was a program for Hazur to officially inaugurate it. When the delegation of Hazur reached Beitul Ghafur, then all the members of the Jamaat, they gave Hazur a very warm welcome. In the outside wall, Hazur officially inaugurated the mosque, and then he also led silent prayer. After this, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, led Zohar and Asr prayers in this new Masjid Ghafur, and in this way the mosque was officially inaugurated. There was also a function held on the opening of this mosque, and in this function, Amir Sahib Germany gave it an opening speech. After this, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, also delivered an opening speech for the mosque, and after the prayers were led, in the external courtyard, a tree was planted. Hazur said that in every way, living in this circumstance and being attributed to the mosque, every Ahmadi, child, woman, man or elder, must adopt a proper conduct so that the true message of Ahmadiyya, the true message of Islam, can be conveyed properly in this area. Appropriate to the opening of this Masjid Ghafur, there was a separate function held for non-Ahmadi guests. Apart from Amir Sahib Germany, who also spoke at the function, there were also provincial and also other governmental ministers who delivered brief addresses at this function. After this, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, also delivered an address.
For only two purposes, and they are that man should worship the one and only God, and to interact kindly with God's creation. To achieve these objectives, mosques are built. In view of this objective, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is pressed into the erection of mosques in all corners of the world. And just as with those mosques, this mosque of the Ahmadiyya community is a symbol of peace.
इस तकरीब के बाद हजूर
After this function, Hazur also spent some time with the local Khuddam and local Ahmadis, after which he left for Beit Sabu. In Beit Sabu, after the Maghrib and Isha prayers, Hazur announced 7 nikah ceremonies, after which he returned to his residence. 19th June 2011. According to the program, at 11 o'clock, Hazur arrived in the hall of Beit Sabu. There, Hazur graciously held a class with the Waqfino children. At the end of the class, Hazur gave important guidance to the Waqfino children and also gave them an opportunity to ask questions. After the completion of this class, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, also went to hold a class with the Waqfino girls. At the end of the class, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, graciously answered questions that were asked by these Waqfino girls. After the conclusion of the class, Hazur returned to his residence. In Shalakiyan city, a new mosque of Jamaat Ahmadiyya Germany, Beitul Hadi, it is a program for it to be opened. Upon reaching Masjid Beitul Hadi, the local Ahmadis of this area, both men, women and children, they all welcomed Hazur. On the external wall, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, officially opened the mosque, and he also led silent prayer. After the prayers, with reference to this opening, a function was held. Amir Sahib Germany also gave an introductory speech, after which Hazur also delivered a speech. Hazur says that an Ahmadi should always remember this at all times. And remembering this, he needs to keep on inculcating higher moral standards, and he must strive in this regard. Because where your progress stops, you should not actually stop, but actually what happens is that a person keeps going further back and back. So therefore, instead of falling, instead of declining, to save yourselves, it is important that a believer, his every step must always be towards advancement. Every new day must take you forward. After the speech, Hazur led silent prayers, and he also met every single person who was present of the Jamaat. In the external area of the mosque, Hazur planted a tree, and then he went into the ladies' enclosure. There was also a program of light refreshments with Hazur, after which Hazur returned to Bet Sabu. In the evening at 8:10, Hazur held a class with the Jamia Ahmadiyya students. During the class, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, provided guidance and advice to the students and teachers of Jamia Ahmadiyya. At the conclusion of the program, Hazur returned to his residence. On 20th June 2011, on this day, a new mosque of Nida there was a program for it to be opened. On the external wall of the mosque, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, officially inaugurated it, and then he led silent prayers. After this, Hazur entered the mosque, and he led Zohar and Asr prayers, and with this, the official opening of the mosque was launched. With reference to the opening, there was also a function held. Amir Sahib Germany delivered an introductory speech, and then after that, the local mayor of the area also delivered a brief address. After this, Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand, addressed the gathering, and with this, a prayer was held, and the conclusion of the function was occurred. Hazur says that there are two things which I would like to draw attention towards. One is that man should recognize the God who created him. And when you recognize God, when a person comes to this recognition, then you will also properly recognize his creation. And when you properly recognize his creation, then the second task that you must adopt is that a person must discharge the rights due to other people. Irrespective of a person's religion, or a person's nationality, or a person's status, irrespective all of this, a person must be respected, he must be honored, and he must be loved, and you must hold affection towards him. This is what you must do. This is that teaching which the promised Messiah, peace be upon him, brought. And this is what he has said. And this is that teaching which is the true teaching of Islam. At the end of this function, Hazur also graciously presented a gift to the mayor, and Hazur also received a gift from the mayor. After this, in the external area of the mosque, Hazur planted a tree, and he also spent some time with the guests who had come. Hazur answered questions that a guest put forward to him, and he also met them. After completing his program in Ida, Hazur left for Bet Sabu. On 21st June 2011, on this day, according to the schedule, in late afternoon, the Masjid Baitul Baqi was to be opened. When Hazur arrived on the external wall of the mosque, Hazur officially closed the mosque. After this, Hazur entered the mosque and he led the Zohar and Asr prayers. With this, the official inauguration of Masjid Baitul Baqi occurred.